Welcome back to Turn Pain into Power podcast. Today's topic is going to be sometimes it's not you, it's them. Matter of fact, sometimes it's not you, it's him up above protecting you and divinely guiding you. Remember to go ahead and check out my custom t-shirts at www.custom-art-t-shirts.myshopify.com. So take a seat because we're going to dive deep into this topic. And I'm going to start with a Bible verse that is John chapter 15. And it says, I am the Son of God. And basically he says, God will cut every branch that bears no fruit, and he will prune every fruitful branch so it can become fruitful. Sometimes we don't really understand how deep it is to understand that sometimes it is God's plan to cut off certain branches, certain people, certain jobs, for example, certain things out of your life because they bear no fruit. Yes, and I digress. So when we look back at that quote from John chapter 15, I come to think about all the times that I had questioned why certain things didn't work out. And it's so important to understand that God's plan is not to be played with. Some things truly do not work out because it's not you. You may be doing all the right things, but God has an assignment for you. And in order for you to fulfill your purpose, sometimes he has to have people that do not belong in your life away from you. He will show you their true intentions. He will show you why there is a necessary ending. And this can apply, like I said, this can apply to all things in life, that there needs to be a necessary ending. Sometimes if it was up to us, we will attach and we will prolong its lifetime in our life, and we won't do that necessary ending on God's time, you know. So a lot of the times I look back and I'm like, oh wow, all those times that you think, man, why isn't this working out, or why isn't that working out, or even when you're driving, why are you taking this detour, and then you find out there was an accident that could have been you. It's so much protection when you get closer to God. God's divine protection is really strong, and it's necessary because in order for you to get to where you're going, there are necessary endings that need to happen. Yes. So personal experience. So many times I've looked back and I literally just look up and thank God, because I come to find out that it was all in God's plan. A lot of things that didn't worked out in my favor and were literally a blessing in disguise. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today, following my purpose, having the peace that I prayed for so much, if necessary endings didn't happen. And it's like, if I had kept and attached to the things, the people, the environments that I had, I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't be here inspiring y'all. I wouldn't be here chasing my purpose. And it's like, sometimes you look back and you wonder, like, man, if I hadn't made that move, if I hadn't made that choice, if I hadn't cut that person off, which saved your life, you wouldn't be on this journey. Like, you wouldn't be where you are today. And it's truly amazing, because sometimes you have to just look up and be like, that was you. So sometimes it's not you, it's him up above protecting you. Sometimes it's not you, it's God's plan saving your life. Sometimes we, because of our childhood trauma, sometimes we attach to things that are not good for us, to people that are not good for us. And sometimes we delay that necessary ending. And what happens when you delay a necessary ending is that you delay a blessing. Yes. So the moment that you delay a necessary ending, the moment that you continue to allow something to take up space, take up room in your life that no longer belongs there, you delay that blessing that God has saved for you. So this really hit me today because I kept thinking of that. Like sometimes it, like when you just look back, you're like, sometimes it's really not you. Sometimes it's them. And I think it's important for us to understand that people are only able to love from the way they received love. And a lot of us didn't receive love. It's important for you to understand that a lot of people since childhood have been in survival mode and do not have the ability to love you how you love purely and genuinely. And it's like, if you continue to keep those people taking up space in your life, if you don't cut off those ties, if you don't let go of what you need to let go of, you'll never get to where you're going. You will delay your purpose. You will delay your blessing. Yes. Now remember to go ahead and check out my custom t-shirts. Link is in the bio, also on your screen. www.custom-art-t-shirts.myshopify.com. Now, when you are getting closer to God, do not be surprised where God will reveal people that were closest to you, family too, and show you that that they don't need to be in your life. Necessary ending. And let me tell you, this is not the easiest thing to even understand, if you know what I mean. Like, for an example, and it doesn't matter who it is, God will show you who's not for you and who is not your people. Because when you start getting close to God, what you will realize is that He will reveal who is not for you, no matter who it is. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, it don't matter how close these people were to you, God will reveal them to you. Now, how many of y'all can relate that there's family members in your life, even friends? If so, I don't have any friends like that anymore because I completely got away from certain people because I realized those are not my people. But how many of y'all have family members or friends or co-workers or people in general that your spirit irritates them? Yes, that the moment you enter the room, you barely even entered the room, you haven't even spoke yet, and they already have a frown in their face. Now, me as an empath, we are very, like, it's a feeling process. Like, we can feel it no matter what. You haven't even said anything to me. Granted, you can be mad at something else, or you can point the finger at something else, and really it be your spirit that irritates them. And I already know that because I've sensed it. I felt it. As an empath, I can't control it. We look at body language. We look at your facials. We look at your spirit. Yes, your spirit will speak for you. So how many of y'all have family members that are like that? And those are not your people. That is what I realized. And it was a hard realization because sometimes these are the people that you've grown up with. These are the people that you love so much, you know, that you've grown so close to. And it is when you start getting closer to God, God will reveal people's spirit and you will feel it. Like, there is no lying. There's no covering that up. Like, as soon as you step in the room, it's like your light bothers them. It's like your realness bothers them. Your spirit irritates them. And I have learned to just place strong boundaries and give the least energy possible to these people because they're not good for my spirit. You know what I mean? Like, you can't help your purity. You know what I mean? God has a calling on your name, not on their name. Everyone else has their own purpose out here. Now, whether you find that purpose or not, that's up to you. Yes. And I need y'all to understand that it is not you. It is God's divine protection. God is revealing to you that the people closest to you sometimes are not your people. And there are necessary endings. And once you do these necessary endings, God will bless you in that space that you've ended, that they were holding up. God will place a blessing in that space. All it takes is for you to do what you're most fearful of, which is the unknown. Most importantly, we have to stop expecting you out of other people, because not everyone was loved properly. Not everyone comes from a place of love. Like I mentioned earlier, some people grow up in a place of survival where they need to heal before they can really love correctly. And sometimes God really does need you to do these necessary endings with these people because they're not good for you. And a lot of the times we think something is wrong with us. Why am I not able to be loved? When in fact, you need to be saying, why are they not able to love? Yes. So definitely important for people to understand that necessary endings are just like it said, necessary. And that these necessary endings need to happen on God's time, not on your time. Because 9 times out of 10, we hold on too long to what's not good for us. Had I not let go of that toxic relationship, I would not be here. I would be wrapped up in chaos. I would not have peace. I would not be able to have a clarity of mind to really go ahead and follow my purpose. And once you step into your purpose, God is not going to allow these distractions to get to you. He will go ahead and make these necessary endings occur quick and in a hurry. And I'm so happy, I'm so grateful for it, because if it was up to me, I feel like although I've healed, I feel like my attachment issues would have kept me in places that served me no good. And it's all like a learning journey. Like, it's all a journey where you're applying these lessons that you've learned. But it's timing is so important to get to where you're going. Timing is crucial. And sometimes people, like they say, you're holding up the line. Sometimes people have that tendency to place a spirit of stall. Like, they'll stall you from getting to where you're going because they don't know where they're going. Granted, they're lost out here in this world. You know what I mean? So yes, this topic, one of my favorite topics that I've spoke on my podcast, because I've truly felt that once I started getting closer to God, once I started applying these necessary endings and really being obedient and following my purpose, better things kept falling in my lap. Blessings left and right kept falling in my lap. And inspiring y'all to follow y'all purpose is a blessing. Yes, y'all. So thank you for tuning in to today's episode on Turn Pain into Power podcast. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys off with some positive affirmations, 5 positive affirmations. Number 1, you are love. Number 2, you are an unstoppable force. Number 3, you are protected. Number 4, you are beautiful in and out. And number 5, you are purposeful. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for tuning in to Turn Pain into Power podcast. And remember, follow God's plan.